They all think I'm the one who left. Technically, that's true. But it's not the whole truth. The real story is so much darker. I wasn't just running from her. I was running from what she turned me into. And I can't keep pretending I don't know exactly how it started. My girlfriend once told me, straight up, don't bother me unless I reach out first. So, I did exactly that. I stopped. Completely. Now, she's storming into my workplace accusing me of being manipulative. And honestly, I'm sitting here wondering if I'm losing my mind or just finally doing what she asked. Celia and I have been together for about 9 months. In the beginning, those first 4 months, it felt like something out of a cheesy romantic montage. Every morning, I'd wake up to her messages. Random memes she'd send because they reminded her of me. Long, sleepy FaceTime calls at night where we'd talk about absolutely nothing and somehow everything. For the first time in a long time, I felt chosen. Seen. Like I mattered to someone who wanted to be there. Then, around month 5, something shifted. It wasn't an explosion, more like a slow leak you don't notice until the floor's wet. She started replying slower. Busy, she'd say when I suggested hanging out, but she wouldn't suggest another time. At first, I told myself, she's probably stressed, so I gave her space. But then came the kicker. I'd see Instagram stories of her laughing with friends at the exact same time she'd told me she was too tired to see me. When I gently, and I mean gently, asked about it, she accused me of keeping tabs on her and being controlling. That stung. I wasn't trying to control her life. I just wanted to know where we stood. Then came the Friday dinner incident, the moment everything snapped into focus. I'd asked if she wanted to grab dinner. She didn't respond for 2 days. And when she finally did, I swear, I must have reread her message 10 times. She said, Adrian, I need you to understand something because this is getting really exhausting for me. You're suffocating me with your constant need for attention and validation. I can't breathe in this relationship when you're always asking to see me or texting me expecting immediate responses. It's too much. From now on, I'm going to decide when we spend time together. I'll reach out when I want to talk. You need to stop bothering me unless I initiate contact first. This is what I need to be happy in this relationship. And if you can't respect that, then maybe we need to reconsider things. I just sat there staring at my screen like, what? I scrolled through our texts again. That week I'd sent maybe 5 messages. 5. All light stuff. A meme. A good morning. How's your day going? That's suffocating? I called my buddy Jonah. He and his girlfriend Rebecca have been together forever, so if I was being clingy, he'd tell me. He read the messages, looked up, and went, dude, she's playing games. Rebecca chimed in too. She said what Celia was doing wasn't about space. It was about control. She's putting you in a position where you need her permission to exist in your own relationship, Rebecca said. That hit hard. So I made a decision. Maybe it was petty. Maybe it was smart. Maybe both. But I decided to take her rules and follow them to the letter. No initiating. No reaching out. No good morning texts. No how was your day. I turned off my read receipts, disabled the last seen feature on WhatsApp, and muted her notifications. Not blocked. Just quiet. And then I did the hardest thing of all, nothing. I didn't do it to manipulate her or pull some reverse psychology stunt. I genuinely needed to know if I even wanted to keep being in a relationship where I had to walk on eggshells just to care about someone. The first few days were brutal. My thumb hovered over her name more times than I can count. But I forced myself to put the phone down. Instead of sitting in silence, I started living again. I met up with Jonah and Rebecca more. Hit the gym. Signed up for that woodworking class I'd been putting off. 2 weeks of silence. On both sides. She didn't reach out. Not once. And honestly, that told me everything I needed to know. Maybe she wasn't as invested as I thought. But then, she started showing up at my job. And suddenly, I wasn't the clingy one anymore. 3 weeks later. Wow. I honestly didn't think this whole situation would blow up like it did. Reading through everyone's takes, even the ones calling me petty or passive-aggressive, was weirdly grounding. A lot of you asked for an update, so here it is. The very next day after I posted, my phone lit up like a Christmas tree. Messages. From none other than Celia. At first, it was just a casual, hey, what's up? And for a second, my old instincts kicked in. I almost responded right away. But then I remembered where I was, knee-deep in Jonah and Rebecca's living room, helping them wrestle a couch through a doorframe. So I didn't touch my phone for about 6 hours. And honestly, it felt nice. Quiet. When I finally checked, there were 3 more messages waiting. Why aren't you answering? Are you okay? What's going on? I replied with something short and simple. Yeah, I'm good. Just been busy. She texted back almost immediately. Busy with what? The old me would have written her a novel about my day, every little detail. The new me? I just stared at the screen, shrugged, and put the phone down. I didn't know anyone a minute-by-minute broadcast of my life, especially not someone who told me not to reach out unless she initiated. That's when her tone started to shift. Over the next few days, her messages grew sharper. Why are you being weird? Did I do something wrong? This is really immature, Adrian. That last one almost made me laugh out loud. The same person who once called my attention suffocating was now mad because I wasn't chasing after her anymore. And the wild part? I wasn't even angry. I wasn't hurt. I just didn't care. That numbness scared me a little because it made me realize how far I'd already emotionally checked out, long before I admitted it to myself. Jonah and Rebecca invited me over for dinner one night. Rebecca asked how I was holding up, and I surprised myself with my answer. I told her I felt lighter. Like I'd been carrying around this invisible weight, constantly questioning whether I was too much, or not enough, or doing something wrong. And now? That weight was gone. She just looked at me and said, "That's not what love's supposed to feel like." And she was right. Around the 2-week mark, Celia switched gears. She stopped texting and started calling. Actual calls. Late night. Middle of the day. Whenever. I'd see her name flash on my screen and feel this strange mix of curiosity and exhaustion. I finally picked up one of her calls. "Where have you been?" she demanded. "No, hi. No, how are you?" Just straight into interrogation mode. I said calmly, "Around. Work's been busy. Been hanging out with friends." She shot back, "You're really just going to act like everything's fine? Like you haven't been completely ignoring me?" I reminded her, "You told me not to bother you unless you reached out first." "That's exactly what I've been doing." There was this long pause, the kind that stretches out like thick fog. Then she said, defensive and fast, "I didn't mean you should disappear completely. You're taking this too literally. You know I didn't mean it like that." Except, she did. She absolutely did. And the only thing that changed was her realizing she wasn't in control anymore. "I don't know what you want me to say, Celia," I told her. "You set the terms. I followed them." She shifted tactics. "But I miss you. Don't you miss me?" I gave her the honest answer. Not really. I missed who she used to be. The version of her who actually wanted to spend time with me. But I didn't miss the constant second-guessing, the anxiety, or feeling like I had to shrink myself to keep her comfortable. I told her I needed more time to think. She didn't like that. So, instead of respecting it, she just ignored it. The calls started getting later. Past midnight sometimes. I started putting my phone on Do Not Disturb. Then came the voicemails, some tearful, some accusing, some just rambling. Yesterday, Jonah texted me out of the blue. "Dude, Celia just messaged Rebecca asking if you're okay. Said she's worried you've been in an accident or something." Rebecca told her I was fine, and that maybe, if Celia actually cared, she'd give me the space I clearly needed. That moment hit me hard. Not because of what Celia said, but because of how far this has spiraled. I'm not playing games. I never was. I stepped back to figure out what I wanted. And what I want is a relationship where I don't feel like I have to audition for someone's affection. Where "I miss you" means something real, not a tactic to pull me back when they feel me slipping away. The irony's not lost on me. The second I stopped chasing, she started running. But I don't want someone who only wants me once they realize I might not be theirs anymore. That's not love. That's fear of losing control. A lot of you said last time that I should just end it cleanly. And deep down, I know you're right. I've been clinging to this tiny, delusional hope that she'll suddenly have an epiphany. That she'll get it. But people don't just change because you stop texting back. And this limbo? It's just dragging things out. It's time to end it properly. I really wish I didn't have to make this update, but yeah, things officially went off the rails. Before I get into it, I just want to say, a lot of you in the comments last time were absolutely right. You told me to rip the band-aid off, to stop living in limbo, and to just end things cleanly. I was planning to do exactly that this weekend. I even had the whole conversation mapped out in my head, public, neutral location, calm breakup talk. But Celia? She beat me to it. Or, something close to it. Yesterday, Thursday, I was in a long project meeting with my team at work. Phone on silent. Meeting dragged for about 2 hours. When it finally wrapped up, I checked my phone. 11 missed calls. A flood of texts. At first, they were normal. "Hey, can we talk?" 15 minutes later, "Adrian, please. I need to talk to you." Then, "This is serious. Why aren't you answering?" And the last one, sent at 2:15 p.m., made my stomach twist. "Fine. If you won't respond, I guess I'll have to come find you." I just stared at my phone thinking, she wouldn't, right? Then Kelly from reception appeared at my desk. "Adrian, there's someone here to see you. She says it's urgent." My heart dropped into my shoes. I walked out to the lobby, and there she was. Celia. Dressed up like she had somewhere important to be. Anxious. Determined. My workplace has an open layout, so half the office could see this unfold whether they wanted to or not. Kelly looked confused. A couple of coworkers tried to act busy but were definitely listening. "Celia, what are you doing here?" I asked, trying to keep my voice calm. "You wouldn't answer your phone," she snapped, like that somehow justified crashing my workplace. "We need to talk." "I was in a meeting," I said. "You can't just show up at my job." "Well, you left me no choice," she shot back. "You've been avoiding me for weeks. Ignoring my calls. Acting like I don't exist. What was I supposed to do?" I could feel the heat crawling up my neck. Not from embarrassment, from that cold, sharp kind of anger. This was exactly the boundary I'd been afraid she'd cross. "Let's go outside," I said quietly. Because if she started crying or yelling in the lobby, I might never live it down. To my surprise, she followed. The moment we stepped into the parking lot, she went off like a switch flipped. "You're punishing me. That's what this is. You're trying to manipulate me with this silent treatment, making me chase you, making me look crazy." I cut her off. "I'm not doing anything like that. You told me to stop initiating contact. I did exactly what you asked." She threw up her hands. "But not like this. Not disappearing completely. You know that's not what I meant." "Then what did you mean, Celia?" I asked. "Because from where I'm standing, I followed your rules to the letter. You wanted control over when we talked, when we saw each other, I gave it to you. Now you're mad because I didn't play the game the way you expected." For a second, she just stood there blinking, trying to find a new angle. Then her eyes welled up. I just miss you, she whispered. Is that so wrong? I miss my boyfriend. I just wanted to see you. And you're making me feel like I'm being unreasonable for that. And that's when something inside me finally cracked, not in a sad way, but in that clear, solid way when you just know something is over. I couldn't keep doing this. I don't want to do this anymore, I said. The words came out steady, way steadier than I felt. Whatever this is, it's not working for me. She stared at me like I'd just slapped her. So, you're breaking up with me in a parking lot? After ignoring me for weeks. Yes, I said. Because this stopped being a real relationship a long time ago. You wanted everything on your terms. Me available when convenient, invisible when not. That's not a partnership. That's something else entirely. And I'm done pretending it's enough. Her face hardened. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You're being controlling. I needed some space and now you're turning it around on me, making me the bad guy. I'm not making you anything, I said, exhausted. I'm just done. Done apologizing for existing in your life. Done waiting for permission to care about you. Done with whatever mind game this became. She shook her head. You can't just end this without even trying. I did try, I told her. 4 months. And then I gave you exactly what you said you wanted, and that wasn't right either. So tell me, Celia, what version of me would ever be enough for you? She didn't have an answer. I told her I needed to get back to work. She stood there in shock, like she genuinely hadn't expected the script to end this way. As I walked away, she called out after me. You're going to regret this. You're going to realize what you gave up. I didn't turn around. Maybe she's right. Maybe someday I'll look back and feel something. But right now? I felt like I could finally breathe again. When I got back inside, Kelly didn't say a word, but I could feel the curious eyes on me. I shot my manager a quick message, giving her a heads up about a personal situation that had just been handled, just in case whispers started floating around. Later that evening, Jonah called. Apparently, Celia had messaged Rebecca again, a long, dramatic rant about how I'd humiliated her and was obviously seeing someone else. She even asked them to help her figure out who. Rebecca shut that down immediately. Jonah asked me, "How are you doing, man?" I paused for a second, then said, relieved. Pissed she showed up at work, but mostly relieved. He said, "That took guts, dude. Doing it face to face like that." "Didn't really have a choice," I said. She forced the conversation. "Yeah," he replied, "but you didn't cave. A lot of people would've." And that's when it hit me. Old me probably would've caved. Let her talk circles around me. Let the guilt eat me alive. But new me? I'm learning that walking away from something that's been suffocating you isn't weakness. Sometimes, it's the only way to win. Edit, thanks for all the support. And yes, I'll be talking to HR tomorrow morning to get everything documented, just in case she tries anything else. Several of you suggested it, and you're right. Gotta protect myself. And no, I'm not worried about her showing up at my apartment. There's security. She doesn't have a key. But I genuinely appreciate the concern. 3 months later. I think it's finally time to close the book on this whole mess. Celia and I haven't spoken since that day in the parking lot. No texts. No calls. No late night drama. In the week after the breakup, she tried a few times, a couple of messages I ignored, one email I deleted without reading. Then, silence. For about 2 weeks, at least. That's when the social media campaign started. She never used my name, of course. But anyone who knew us could connect the dots. Vague posts about narcissists who weaponize silence, emotional abuse disguised as boundaries. A few Instagram stories of her crying into the camera, talking about how she was healing from a toxic relationship. Rebecca sent me screenshots, not to stir drama, but because she was genuinely worried this might escalate. The real curveball came from our friend group. Turns out Celia had been rewriting our entire relationship long before the breakup. She'd painted me as this jealous, controlling guy who couldn't handle her independence. When Rebecca called her out on the inconsistencies, Celia doubled down. Said I'd manipulated everyone into taking my side. The conversation got heated fast. At one point Celia apparently said, "I can't believe you're choosing a man over female solidarity. By staying friends with him, you're enabling abuse." Rebecca, bless her, hit her with the truth. "You literally told him not to contact you, and now you're mad he listened." And Celia's response? "He should have known I didn't mean it like that." Yeah. Rebecca and Jonah don't talk to her anymore. I never asked them to pick a side, they made that decision themselves after Celia threw down the ultimatum. About 6 weeks after the breakup, I heard through a mutual friend that Celia was dating someone new. The guy looked uncomfortable telling me, like I might be upset. I wasn't. Honestly, my first thought was, I hope the guy's okay. 2 weeks ago, I found out they'd already split. The pattern? Identical. Fast and intense at the start. Sudden coldness. Then she accused him of being controlling when he asked what changed. He ended it after 3 weeks. Then, right on cue, she started telling everyone he was emotionally unstable and that she'd dodged a bullet. That's when it really hit me. This was never about me. This is who she is. This is what she does. And I'm just grateful I didn't spend years trying to fix something that wasn't mine to fix. But honestly, enough about her. Here's what matters. I'm good. Like actually good. I wake up in the morning and don't check my phone with a pit in my stomach. I make plans without worrying if I'm being too much just by wanting to exist. I laugh more. I breathe easier. I live. Jonah and Rebecca have become even closer friends through all this. We do game nights on Fridays, sometimes just us, sometimes a few others. It's easy. Quiet in the best way. No drama. No hidden power struggles. Just people who actually care. I even dipped my toes back into dating. Nothing serious, just a few casual dates with someone I met in my woodworking class. And you know what? The difference was night and day. We texted because we wanted to. We made plans, and we both showed up. No guilt. No eggshells. It didn't turn into anything long-term, but it reminded me of something important. Real connection shouldn't feel like you're auditioning for a role. It should feel mutual. Wanted. A month ago, Celia did try to come back. She sent this long, rambling message about therapy and realizing she had attachment issues, about wanting to talk and maybe get another chance. I read it once. It sounded like a performance, like she was reciting all the right words without actually understanding any of them. And after what happened with her new ex, I had zero reason to believe anything had changed. I didn't reply. Not out of spite. Just because there's nothing left to say. That chapter's closed. My life is smaller now in some ways. I've lost a few people who were really her friends, not mine. I avoid some places we used to go together. But it's bigger in all the ways that matter. More time. More energy. More peace. I've picked up my guitar again. Built some shelves in my living room. I sleep like a human being for once. And the best part? I don't need anyone's permission to just be. To everyone who commented and offered support through all this, thank you. I mean it. I'm doing well. And I'm going to keep doing well.